Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hey, have you read this book? This episode is about the book The Ballad of Blind Tom, written by Deidre O'Connell. This amazing true story is all about the life of a blind, autistic slave boy who becomes a musical genius. In 1849, Charity Wiggins, a 48-year-old slave woman in Columbus, Georgia, gave birth to Tom. Charity had given birth already to at least 12 children before, but Tom was different. He was blind, and Charity was afraid that her master would have Tom killed. When Tom was still a baby, Charity's master decided to sell Charity and her family. Charity and her husband Mingo were terrified that their family would be separated and asked General Bethune to save them. Bethune, who was a lawyer and owned a newspaper, had no need for a slave family, so he said no. But a few days later he bought the entire family, even though he had already had many slaves to look after his family and small farm. As a toddler, Tom would wander off to the nearby forest searching for a bird he had heard. To stop Tom wandering, Charity locked him in the cabin, but there would be chaos. He would bang the pots and pans and bite and pinch his younger brother and sister. Tom was not like other children. At 3 years of age he could barely walk, but he would imitate very accurately the sounds of an owl hooting or a dog barking. Being autistic, Tom couldn't have a normal conversation, but he could repeat conversations that he heard in the same tones which he had heard them. Tom was mesmerized by the sound of the Bethune girls playing the piano. He would lie outside the window of the parlour of his master's house, or under the house where the piano was. When he was 4, he found his way into the Bethune's house and taught himself to play the tunes that he had heard. Bethune was so impressed that he took Tom away from his family's cabin and set him up in the Bethune's house and purchased the piano just for Tom. Tom learned very quickly, and at 5 years of age he started to compose his own music. When he was 8, he started to give concerts. Tom was described as the greatest musical wonder of the age because after he heard a piece of music just once, he could play it back, note for note. Tom could play more than 5,000 pieces of music, all from memory. However, Tom was also described as an idiot because of his eccentric behaviour and his many obsessions. Tom's most famous composition was the Battle of Manassas, which Tom recreated the sounds of a marching army, horses, drums, trumpets, trains, and firing cannons. He had heard all these sounds of battle during the Civil War. By 1862, President Lincoln announced that slaves, except those in Kentucky, Maryland, and Missouri, were to be emancipated, but this didn't make any difference to Tom. Tom continued giving concerts, being instructed by various managers. He performed in concerts in almost every town in the United States and Canada, going back to some of the same towns several times. He travelled thousands of miles across deserts and mountains. Tom loved being on a train. He was immersed by the rhythm of the wheels, and he knew exactly where he was, whether the train was passing open fields, woods, or houses. Sometimes Bethune made thousands of dollars just after a few sell-out concerts in one town, but Tom never received any money of his own. Tom even went on a tour in Europe where his shows were a great success. In 1879, Tom performed in Columbus, his hometown. His mother, Charity, was in the audience. She had not seen her son for 14 years, but was not even given complimentary tickets. Of the $20,000, or $5 million in today's money, the Blind Tom Concert Company was netting a year, Charity's family saw none of it. In all the years he'd been away, Charity had never heard from Tom and didn't know where Bethune's new residence was. To find out more about America's forgotten musical genius, I suggest that you read this amazing and entertaining story about this gifted pianist who lived through the turbulent times of the Civil War and slave emancipation. You will learn about the various characters who were Tom's managers and teachers, the business deals and legal cases involving Blind Tom, and the incredible feats and strange habits of this blind autistic boy born into slavery. Thanks for watching.